Welcome to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia, Eritrea, and Sudan. Firstly, disputed territory between the Tigray and Amhara regions, the southern Tigray, Raya, Koram, where reportedly Amhara region is raising new militias. Militia members are being armed. So while we are seeing insurgency in the Amhara region where Fano fighters are fighting security forces in different parts of the Amhara region, and Ethiopian National Defense Force is reportedly raising militias to counter Fano fighters. Amhara regional government is raising militias to purpose is to stop any attempt by Tigray forces to take over Raya Koram by force. Details for you about this important development. Second, viewers, UN experts have issued a statement asking Ethiopia to stop the detention and expelling of Eritreans from Ethiopia. We know that last month Ethiopia expelled hundreds of Eritreans. Eritrean government did not say a word about these deportations. Ethiopian Refugee and Returnee Service issued a statement. But some UN experts are rejecting the statement issued by Refugee and Returnee Service of Ethiopia. Thirdly, viewers, has Abune Matthias, the Patriarch, been kidnapped? It is being claimed as if he has no say in what is happening these days at the Orthodox Church headquarters, where we know that a strong statement was issued yesterday by the church declaring Sunday's meeting due to be held in Tigray illegal. Videos are being shared as if Abune Matthias is helpless. I want to say a few words. And lastly, Sudan, where intense fighting ongoing in Bahri. Videos, pictures are being shared from Bahri showing the damage, the devastation in this renewed fighting between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese military. RSF claimed to have repelled a major offensive on its positions in Bahri. Firstly, viewers, southern Tigray, Raya, Koram, these Alamata, these areas are disputed between Tigray and Amhara regions. Before the war, this area was part of Tigray, but Amhara groups claim that decades ago this area was annexed by Tigray. It was originally part of the Amhara region. And this area is now under the control of Amhara forces. Amhara government, you can say. Amhara special force has been disbanded, but there is Amhara police in these areas. Amhara administration is administering the Raya zone, Koram, and then Volkai, Tumara, Sagadetu. Tigray fighters have not been completely disarmed. Some sources say Tigray fighters are conducting trainings. They are being mobilized towards Raya, Koram, southern zone. Though they have not entered this area because it is being controlled by Ethiopian National Defense Force and there is Amhara administration. Amhara regional government seems to be backing the training and arming of militias in Raya. Some new recruitments have been done, and now ammunition is being distributed in two towns of Raya, Churcher and Alamata, where new trainees have been provided with ammunition. It means Amhara regional government is arming people in Raya. Why? Because there could be an attack by Tigray fighters to take back southern Tigray, or it is just a preparation by Amhara government. They don't want to hand over Raya zone to Tigray. And we know that a few weeks ago, a petition was submitted to Ethiopian House of Federation with more than 130,000 signatures. The signatories were reportedly or allegedly, or it was claimed that they were from this disputed territory. And they asked House of Federation to hold a referendum to determine the future status of this zone. The petition is still pending with House of Federation, no decision. But Amhara regional government a few days ago said that it was making preparations to hold referendums to answer the questions about identity and borders. It means Amhara regional government has agreed to holding a referendum in Raya, Quorum, etc. But Tigray isn't going to agree to referendum, reportedly. That is why, while Amhara government says it is ready to hold referendum, at the same time it is raising militias. It is arming militias. It wants to stop Tigray fighters from considering a forcible takeover of Raya. Ethiopian National Defense Forces role is crucial because this area is under ENDF control. ENDF is here. ENDF is talking to both parties, in touch with Tigray, in touch with Amhara parties. To Amhara locals, ENDF says no, Tigray fighters will not be allowed to enter Raya and other zones, other areas. But to Tigray government, some assurances are being given too. So overall, there is a stalemate. Since I always say stalemates always lead to conflicts, because anytime this stalemate can turn into armed confrontation. Tigray fighters still armed, being mobilized towards border, towards Raya, and on the other hand, Amhara government arming militias in Churcher, Alamata. That just shows the gravity of the situation, that despite signing a Pretoria deal, core issues have not been resolved. Core issues unresolved. Though Tigray and Amhara leaders held some meetings, they exchanged visits too. Amhara President Yilkal visited Mekelle, Getachew visited Bahri Sudan. Still, no progress could be made about the future status of these disputed territories, southern and western zones. Secondly, viewers, a UN panel of experts has warned Ethiopia, asking Ethiopia to stop deportation of Eritreans. Ethiopia deported around 300 Eritreans last month. Ethiopian Refugee and Returnee Service claimed that those who had been deported were not refugees or asylum seekers. Who were they then? No details shared by Ethiopian government. Eritrean government silent. It has not said a word about these deportations, but reportedly the 300 Eritreans were handed over to Eritrean Defense Force. Where are the 300 deportees? No one knows. Some say that Eritrean military received them and then they were allowed to go to their homes. They were not imprisoned, reportedly. UN panel of experts says that Ethiopia is committing violation of refugee law. Those who have entered Ethiopia, they cannot be deported. Their refugee status is not being registered. They want to file asylum cases, but they are not being registered. Rather, Ethiopia is deporting them. And now when war is ongoing in Sudan, more Eritreans are entering Ethiopia. Eritreans, other nationalities people are entering Ethiopia. So Ethiopia starts deporting all these people who are entering Ethiopia. Obviously, UN is going to condemn it, and UN is already condemning it. UN said that whereabouts of those who were deported to Eritrea from Ethiopia are unknown. No one knows where they are. Eritrean government, by the way, 300 Eritreans were deported from Ethiopia to Eritrea. And you did not see a word from Eritrean government. Where is Yemeni Gabriel? Who are those who were deported from Ethiopia? Are they criminals? Are they wanted in Eritrea? Why were they deported? Eritrean government should have clarified. It did not. That is why UN experts say that no one knows the whereabouts of those who have returned who were deported from Ethiopia to Eritrea. And secondly, Ethiopia has not shared any charge sheet against them. What were the charges against them? No charge sheet shared. So that is why UN is asking Ethiopia to stop this practice of deporting Eritreans. There is still no clarity about those who were deported from Ethiopia. Some say they were involved in some criminal, illegal activities in Ethiopia, and some of them were wanted in Eritrea too. That is why Ethiopia deported them, and Eritrea had to take them. Thirdly, viewers, Abune Matthias the Patriarch has been abducted. Whenever we see a confrontation between, a new episode of confrontation between the main church and Tigray archbishops, we see a campaign from Tigray activists that Abune Matthias the Patriarch is helpless. He cannot do anything because he is being held hostage. He's been abducted, you can say. He cannot speak his mind. He feels for Tigrayans. He is against the decisions of the synod, but he is helpless. We saw this narrative last year too, in 2021 too, when Abune Matthias spoke, condemned the war, condemned genocide of Tigrayans. It was said back then that Abune Matthias' life was in danger. He had been silenced by the church, by the other archbishops from the Amhara like Abune Abraham and Petros. The same is happening. A video of Abune Matthias is being shared. A new video showing Abune Petros telling Abune Matthias what to say at a press conference. The video is being used as a piece of evidence to claim that Abune Matthias is helpless. He cannot say anything on his own, rather he is being directed what to do. His life is in danger. Before showing this clip, my view is that Abune Matthias the Patriarch is playing very smart. He has still sympathies of Tigrayans. At the same time, he is on board with synod too. He is not willing to relinquish authority. He wants to continue as head of the church. At the same time, he wants to ensure that Tigrayans support him. But here, Abune Matthias the Patriarch is in a difficult position, I think. He'll have to choose sides in coming days. If Tigray archbishops decide to appoint bishops, the church will take a position. Church has already taken a position. It is saying Sunday's meeting is illegal. So if bishops are appointed, the appointment would be illegal. After Sunday's meeting, we could see a stronger position taken by the church. Abune Matthias will have to stand with the church, or he will have to relinquish his power, his authority. He is not ready to resign, to step aside, to step down. He wants to cling on to power while continuing to have the love of Tigrayans. On the other hand, the hawks at the church, they want the Patriarch to condemn what is happening in Tigray in terms of moves by the Tigray archbishops. Abune Petros, Abune Abraham and others, they want Abune Matthias to be very vocal against Tigray archbishops. Matthias playing smart, very diplomatic, so far trying to play the role of a bridge between the Tigray archbishops and the hawks at the church. Let's see. Sunday's meeting is very crucial. Now a clip for you which is being showed, which is being used as a piece of evidence that Abune Matthias is helpless. The clip only shows Abune Petros telling the Patriarch that what he should speak, what he should say. Is the Patriarch suffering from some memory loss? We have seen Abune Petros brief him on several occasions. Either he is suffering from memory loss, or there's so much to speak that he forgets things. So that is why Abune Petros reminds him what to say. Or Abune Petros is the man who is dictating terms. He is calling the shots. Abune Matthias is helpless. If Abune Matthias is helpless, he should tell the people. Watch the clip, then last news story.
ከኢትዮጵያ ኦርቶዶክስ ተዋሕዶ ቤተክርስቲያን ቅዱስ ሲኖዶስ የተሰጠ መግለጫ።
Lastly, there was intense fighting in Bahri, northern Khartoum, for the last 12 hours. Heavy fighting ongoing in Bahri. Rapid Support Forces issued a statement today saying that an offensive was launched on its positions in Bahri by Al-Burhan's forces from two directions. Offensive was launched from Hatab and from Halfayal Maluk, but RSF claims it has repelled this two-pronged offensive on its positions. RSF claims it has captured 130 vehicles in this operation, 90 from Hatab and 40 from other areas, and that hundreds of Sudanese army soldiers have been killed in this offensive. It's difficult to verify or reject RSF's claim, but locals, several sources confirming heavy fighting in Bahri. This is the heaviest fighting in Bahri in the last 1 month or so. We have seen very intense clashes in Darman and now Bahri. RSF there, Sudanese militias attempts to dislodge RSF from Bahri, Darman, Khartoum Central, so far not succeeding. A clip for you. Several graphic videos are being shared. I cannot show you here, showing the destruction, devastation in Bahri. Short clip. Sudanese military has not responded to RSF's claims, but it seems that RSF fighters are still there in Bahri. Large parts of Bahri are under RSF control. Watch the clip from Bahri. Thanks for watching.